Hey everybody, welcome to Survivor with Jay, Jack, and Colleen. My name is Jay.
My name is Colleen.
And when did CBS fire Jeff and hire his grandpa?
Oh my God, what was the matter with his outfit? I am so glad that you pointed that out because...
Well, it's better than the skinny jeans approach he had. But
but he
I don't know, he was still wearing dude bro hair, so I mean, why lose the skinny jeans? Because it just looked bad.
Well, it wasn't skinny jeans. He was wearing like those like you see the ads online where it's like sweatpants, but you can wear them out places. That's what they looked like. And
yeah,
then,
it was like fancy sweatpants with a dad sweater. It was just very odd, and
his tan game was so severe that like at his hairline you could see like his normal pasty skin, and it just. I mean, not to criticize anyone's appearance, but I'm with you, Jack. It did not look great during the live show today.
It didn't look great, but I was just Did he wear would he have his usual button-down blue uniform on, and then somebody like spilled something on it right before showtime, and they were like, quick, who's got something?
It is live. Hey, Grandpa, give me your sweater.
Yeah, no. Somebody was like, I've got these pants from, the Young Sheldon set, and then somebody else, and then Cochran was like, and I have a sweater.
Well, yeah, to me, he wasn't wearing grandpa clothes. He was wearing tech bro clothes. But those clothes are so, youthful and energy that didn't fit. Yeah, him. Like it seemed out of place. It's like
it wasn't him. And also, can we? There's a reason why his talk show got canceled. His banter with it doesn't work. When he brought Joe out, and I'm like going, this needs to end. Please stop. Stop.
Obviously, you can tell we're so eager to talk about the actual episode that we're spending all this time focusing on.
We're picking on Jeff. I love Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff's amazing.
He's the perfect host for that show. But I'll say it again, he just isn't the guy for the after show, and I think they know it, and that's why they made it 5 minutes long. I didn't even watch it.
Well, at least they got to everybody this time. I think everybody had a moment. Like, nobody was forgotten, so that was good, considering like the limited time they had for it anyway. But yeah, so shocking conclusion. I'm looking at our predictions for the tally game.
Nobody had Chris because nobody knew his freaking name last week. Remember when we were like, and then Eric and the other one that's not Eric.
Yeah, who saw that coming?
Can I just say though that in my finale thing, I had Chris in the final three. Just saying.
In your first one.
No. In my pick last week, I had Chris in final three.
Did you think you were picking Eric? Because we saw a lot from Eric in
No, I picked
Extinction.
Chris. I picked Chris.
We did not see a lot of Chris, which was... Okay, so I'm a Jack. What did you think about somebody that was out of the main game?
Okay, before we get anything, when I thank people that make the show possible, our patrons, especially Tack from Tokyo, Eckhart Richter,
Shut down.
Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne with the Plan, Drake the Destroyer.
It's like podcasting with Zach all over again.
And Ed the Creepy Mailman.
Interrupter,
you,
Bun Patty Bun.
This podcast would not be possible. Us dissecting this episode, whether we hate it or not, or does it match the energy of this final season of Game of Thrones for its finale here? Will be seen very shortly, which is now. But if you'd like to become a patron, go to patreon.com/Jay and Jack. That's patreon.com/Jay and Jack. If you give $5 or more a month, you get our bonus episodes, which includes Zachary Glatfelter with special guests Bun Patty Bun, the original, was on this week.
The
Jack.
OG Bun.
And it was a lot of fun. So, without any further ado, Colleen, take it away. I'm sorry.
Oh, do we want to do a recap, or do we want to
just talk about just talk about the show, because it's. Colleen, your original question to Jack, please. Repeat.
Okay. My original question was, Jack, how did you feel about somebody that was out of the main game coming back in and winning?
Well, I think I've said a couple of times, at least, I don't think it's fair that someone is out of the game that long and can come in just the last 3 days. And then also be given an idol.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he wasn't necessarily given an idol.
I know, but
he
come
had to
on.
play that thing right.
He shouldn't even had the chance of having an idol. Again, these idols, they need to stop at a certain point. Once they're played, they're played. I mean, let me go look. Let's go find an idol. There's nothing worse than watching people walk around. I'll keep saying it again. It's boring television, watching people walking around for an idol. Will I stop watching Survivor? No, I've made it this long, but I understand the game has to evolve. I had no problem with Edge of Extinction. I liked it. But once Devin came in, I think that's what should have been it. That one guy gets in, or one person gets in, and that's it. I mean, but Chris gets in. He didn't have the. I thought Gavin made a great case. He didn't have the stress of, is that person going to vote me out? Not being able to sleep because you're worried about. I mean, he had no. It wasn't on a 5-star resort, but still, you're out of the game. And I think that says. I think being in the game is a lot harder than being on Edge of Extinction.
I would agree with all of those sentiments.
Jay, it's your turn.
Completely. Like I totally agree with a lot of those sentiments, and even Gavin, his statements. But I will say, Chris played a perfect re-entry to get to that position. Like he wasn't given an advantage, I don't think, because he got Lauren to play the idol for him, even though he hadn't been in the game at all to have any built relationship.
But
with Lauren.
He didn't need it.
No, what are you talking about? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like that's amazing gameplay to be able to do that quickly.
Well, to be fair, he came in armed with knowledge from,
which that was his own advantage that he used, and he used it well. And then he had this split idol thing that he trusted the person that backstabbed him, and that was the clear favorite to win the game, and trusted him with the other part of the idol to give it back, which that didn't have to happen, but he was able to play that to make that happen. And then he wins the final 3 challenge, which is a really hard challenge that nobody else, save for Julie, came close to. And then, even then, he wasn't a lock to win.
The final 3 challenge?
No, I'm saying he won the final 3 challenge, but at the fire game, I don't think he was a lock to win. But he gives up that immunity, and he goes and he beats Devin to the fire. Like he did everything perfectly.
But
he go ahead.
No, you go ahead because.
So let me close my thoughts, and then Colleen, you can go to
please.
yours. But I'm just saying, while I agree, is it ideal? No, but as War Dog said, this theme is not on trial. The 3 of them were on trial, and out of the 3 that were there in the end, he was, I think, the rightful winner. That's all. Whether he's the best player of the game this season, no, but that's not always the case, Michelle. And I think he played it. He played the game right. He played his hand, and he did what he had to do to win.
Okay, so the way I think of it is that while it is definitely okay, like you said, if you want to go the route that the person who is, the theme is not on trial or whatever, they are on trial. Fantastic. He got to go and have a 30-day slumber party with the member of the jury. That's like totally fine. Whatever, that's the theme of the season. Be mad at Survivor, don't be mad at him. My point is, we literally went into this episode being like, which one is that guy again? We didn't see any storytelling from. We didn't see anything
Edge of Extinction,
from Edge of Extinction. Like, they couldn't have taken, 5 minutes out of a Devin scene. Not even 5 minutes. 2 minutes out of, we love Rick Devin's scene. Any of the last, I don't know, where this was 13, so the last 10 episodes since he was voted out, and, give us a little bit more from him other than, him reading his letter. And maybe it was him. Was he the one that was on the middle of the rock last week? I could check my notes.
It was him or the other one.
It was one of them, right? Chris. If you were gonna make me pick based on,
there was a couple times they panned Eric, and I was like, "Chris, what are you doing over there? You gotta go back."
Exactly. We got nothing. We got more from Eric than we got from Chris. Okay, maybe you could give the old. Is
that an FU to the Edgic people?
Well, I think the Edgic people are probably rioting in the streets and trying to burn it all down right now, but.
In Michelle we trust.
But we saw nothing, and at least tell us a story why this person. Yes, he came back in and he kicked butt. He had that Big D energy, as everybody was saying. Like, he came back in, he made all the right moves, and it's great because he had, again, his panel of 18 people that were on the jury that were giving him advice, or probably are all sitting there around the campfire and singing songs and talking about, okay, here's what the person that goes back in kind of has to do.
You're talking about Wentworth doing Lauren dirty.
Oh, she didn't. Oh.
Just saying. She said I was loose-lipped. She even said it in the reunion thing.
Well, to be fair, she was probably like, yeah, Joe's got this.
Well, I know, but again, kudos to him for playing the long game too.
Yeah, and that was fine. I actually don't have an issue with if we're going to play by the theme, and you can complain about the theme, and you can complain about the fact that somebody that didn't have to really play the main game won, but at the end of the day, at least make us care more about that character beyond the last 90 minutes of an episode, of the finale episode. Just because he's coming in and taking out somebody that you've set up to, that fans are kind of like, we really don't want to see this guy win. But I gotta tell you, Ben, Fabio, they must be super excited that they've now been bumped up from like everybody's least favorite winners.
I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's fair to put him in the least fair. Like he did what he had to do. Like, to me, it wasn't unjust his win.
Yes,
I feel like
he did what he had to do. I am
square.
not talking about that. I am talking about the fact.
It wasn't a win because of a bitter jury or anything like that. Like he won
and
the game.
Nobody is saying that it was. I'm saying that the people that make the show should have given us a little bit more so that we were
Would that
like
have tipped
him?
the hand that somebody... I mean, again, you people that follow the edit really well, and Colleen, you do it really well.
I haven't followed as much this season as I should have.
But I think just instinctually, you do it well. You're a very observant person, so I think you're just really good at that.
Yeah. Thanks.
So
I do enjoy how... Sorry, go ahead.
No, but I'm saying maybe it is frustrating for people that watch the show the way you watch the show, where... you're able to kind of see these storylines and threads, but I think it's also a valid story option to kind of have this person come out of left field and have one of those, to put it in the Cinderella story, or the just from out of nowhere person to come and kind of win the game for their team or something like that. I think there's a valid story there for a certain subset of people. I'm not saying it's going to please everybody, but I don't want to deny, because I think he played in those last 3 days.
Great a total of
he was terrible in the beginning.
Oh, he did, and he learned from the mistakes, and he still
played
the game on Edge.
For a returning player season.
He played on Edge of Extinction too. Like, it's not like he wasn't playing; it was a different game he was playing, but he was still in the game. It was just a different part of the game.
Here's the difference. Here's the biggest problem with the game.
Yeah.
If you're going to the Super Bowl and you have two teams, and one of the teams, all the refs are related to one team, what are the chances of that team being a fair deal? He was on Edge of Extinction for the third longest, right?
The third longest. He got there right after Keith.
So he wasn't playing a game with these people. He was just hanging out with these people.
The social game's part of it.
So the jury, but it's different playing a social game when you're going, okay, yeah, is this person lying to me or not? There's no reason to lie on Edge of Extinction. There's no reason whatsoever. You just go about your life,
But maybe they should have been. Maybe it's the Richard Hatch approach, where it's the first time it's happened, and he took advantage of being the first in that situation.
I'm not blaming him. He played by the rules. I'm saying the rules need to be adjusted, because he should have to come into the game a lot sooner than 3 days left. I don't care if he played a perfect game the last 3 days.
I agree with that.
He was terrible at the beginning. He was horrible. That's why he got voted out.
Yeah, but I'll also say too, like, if we're using sports analogies, playoffs in general do not favor the best team. I mean, how many times do we see look at the Giants that beat the Patriots? The Patriots were arguably the best team in football that season, but a wild card team that was 9-8 won the Super Bowl that year.
But
So
the Super Bowl's not it's not the people. My favorite's the Patriots. It's played on a field, where Survivor is. You have to
played on an island.
You have to convince the jury to vote for you, and he
did.
And because he was friends with all of them on the jury.
I think if he didn't give up his immunity and take on Devins one-on-one, I don't think he
choice.
would have won. I think Gavin would have won.
And that
apparently.
was great. That was a great moment.
I don't think
it
he
was
would have
very
won.
exciting. I felt bad for
best move.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So I don't think he was a shoo-in to win if he made it to the final three. And
But
I think
he
he
knew
made.
he had to get rid of. He knew he had to get rid of Devins.
And he did it. He didn't make somebody else do it for him. And I think that is where he did everything he needed to do. Because I don't think it was a shoo-in that the jury was going to vote for him. And even Victoria, they should have made a better play. And Lauren should have been more wise to make sure to get him out right away at 6. But they were. I
agree.
Devin even said it. You're so focused on me, you're not paying attention to the broader game. And I think that was a fair assessment by Devins as well. Because they should have gotten him out right away.
They should have gotten rid of him.
Yeah. Honestly, like as annoying as I think a lot of fans, not you, Jay, I know, thought Devins was the last few weeks. I think it would have been a more satisfying ending if we had seen him win, just because we saw his story throughout.
I don't know. I was watching with you, and you
was
hate.
Losing. He lost a lot of respect for me today. I mean, I lost a lot of respect for him today.
With the idol thing?
Well, him crying and all this stuff. They're
That's right.
Then he goes out,
when
and then he has
show
fun
emotion.
teasing with the idols. I go, come on, dude. You're just sitting there making this song and dance about how everyone's you're gunning for me, and then you're making fake idols for people and laughing about it. Maybe you're bringing it on yourself a little bit.
Well, I think the fake idols were a smart play because again, it got them all to think they were safe.
Yeah, I get it, but it just he's laughing and joking, jumping around.
You mean he was having fun? How dare he have fun on Survivor?
Well, I'm just. But
there's a somber game.
You don't sit there and go, they're all picking on me. And then he goes and goes,
That didn't really bother me that much.
All I know is Colleen was a bit hate watching it because I don't think she wanted Devins to win.
Yeah, I didn't want Devins to win, but that's because but then once. I don't know.
Then
once
when
we were there in the moment, I was like,
win.
"Oh, it would have been."
And how did Julie not get a vote?
That's where I feel that was the biggest robbery because I felt Gavin, even though he didn't have a vote the entire time, it was Victoria that was running that show, and I feel like Julia had a much better case of a game than Gavin. But Julie must have just pissed off that many people on the jury that they weren't going to vote for her. But I thought Julia was much more, and I thought she had a chance to still beat.
I know we were
Chris.
texting back and forth, Colleen and I said, I think Julie can win.
I thought Julie had it.
I mean, it was shocking. If Gavin would have won, I've been so pissed. I just thought Gavin was the most boring player.
See, I didn't think that about Gavin
this season.
Again, it would have been like the edit kind of did him wrong if he had won because we just didn't see. We didn't really.
I mean,
see
his
that
new
much from
hairstyle
him.
in the finale at the live show.
Really, you're gonna? You had Joe and whatever was going on with him, and you're gonna pick on Gavin's hair?
I loved his hair on the island, but his hair in this finale episode was representative of his personality in the game. Flat and boring.
That seems a little harsh.
I'm just saying.
But when it got down to 4 votes, I go, and Julie doesn't have a vote yet?
Yeah, I know.
They did her dirty. I'm just saying.
And she was skunked. I was like, going, I can't believe she didn't get a vote.
I was shocked that Ron didn't vote for her.
Yeah.
Because, a couple of weeks ago, I think I know I said that Julie and Gavin didn't have a chance to win. But when I saw the final 3, I go, okay. I figured Chris was going to win because he'd have the jury support. But I was like, God, I can't believe she didn't get a vote.
Yeah.
Well, I think, and I think Chris was right in saying if Victoria or Devins were in the final 3, one of them would have won. And, that didn't happen. Got Victoria out.
Well, the second, because we had not heard
which
a
is a
whole
shame
lot
for you
about...
guys, because I know.
I know.
I thought she played a pretty... There was moments where I was like, what is she? She's not doing anything. But there was moments where I think she really was a really good player.
Well,
Yeah.
so the thing that kind of bothers me with the Victoria thing is as soon as they were sitting there at the reward and it was like, well, you could also maybe lose to Victoria, I was like, oh, she's going home because we haven't heard a whiff of anybody mentioning Victoria's name. She hasn't gotten a vote so far. And then all of a sudden we hear, it's been Devins. All of a sudden we hear them be like, oh, and Victoria. It was like, oh, okay, they must be planting the seed because Victoria's going home.
Another thing I forgot bugged me about Devins when he whined about not getting picked to the reward challenge.
Yeah, you didn't like that very much.
I said, oh, I didn't get picked.
You will show no emotion on this island.
No, it's not about showing emotion. It's just okay. You didn't get picked.
No, you're playing the Wentworth School of Survivor. I get it.
Suck it up.
But yeah, but again, I'm not trying to deny people's rights to criticize the season because I think it's fair. All those reasonings are valid, but I do think Chris won fair and square given the rules of the game. And
the rules of the game, yes, I can't argue that. I'm just saying the rules need to be adjusted.
And I also think to your point, like Devin's finding the idol again, and is that Devin's playing well or was it heavy-handed? I think is up for debate. I don't think it was as heavy-handed as it was with Ben.
Where they were like, here, there might be an idol under your pillow.
Yeah.
Woo, let's check.
And then let's add the fire challenge.
Gavin said, I didn't go look for the idols, so I didn't have to.
Or let's add the fire challenge to give him a chance to stay on.
Right. But no, when Gavin said that, I said, well, that's stupid. You want to keep the idol out of your competitor's hands.
Right.
Even if you don't need it. I would have not voted for him on that statement alone. even though I thought he had a pretty good tribal. I thought he made a strong case for himself.
He did. But and maybe it's just because, again, Colleen, you're it's fair to say that maybe he just didn't have a great edit. But to me,
with Chris?
No, with Gavin.
Oh no, Gavin clearly did not have a great edit, and I think that there would have been just as many people who are on Twitter right now complaining about how Chris won and that renders 30 or 10 episodes of Survivor basically like for nothing. Just as there are many people complaining about that. If Gavin had won with the edit that he got, there would have been just as many people that were complaining, like, really? That's the edit that he got? Like, that's,
But maybe he was giving the best. Maybe they showed the best he gave.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
We don't know.
They didn't want to feature that tattoo more? Are you kidding me?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand how he got second place over Julie. I'm sorry. I mean, again,
he did have a lot. I think that Julie's.
But that was Victoria. Honestly, he was just going on Victoria.
And
he even admitted it.
Yeah, he said it in the thing.
True.
So, I don't want to harp on him about if he's listening. I don't think he is. But if he is, I don't want you to feel like I'm going against you.
He's totally going against you, Gavin. But remember who wasn't going against you? Me.
I was in the middle. I did pick Ben a lot.
Jack was on both sides.
Fine people.
Many fine people.
But I mean,
picked on Julie the most, and here I'm shocked she didn't get any votes. So.
Yeah, again, my only guess is maybe she rubbed the jury the wrong way, but I feel like she did have a valid case to make. I mean, again, I think she also was on the wrong side of the vote and got blindsided so many times that it was hard to give it to her. But in a situation where you have a Gavin who was boring and didn't really do anything, a Chris who wasn't part of the game and came back.
Julie heard herself on the jury when she started talking about emotions, and someone saying, "Are you saying you used that for your advantage?" Yeah. And she kind of went, "Yeah." I don't think she really. I don't think.
Well, I have to say that Julia was a little bit. They were kind of mean. What was it that Gavin said that Kelly said? I found that to be rude.
When I think he asked a question or something instead of the jury.
No, Chris asked a question.
Oh, okay.
Okay, what was that whole? I was taking notes and I somehow looked down and missed it.
Chris asked a question of Gavin, and Wentworth said, "That's rude. We should be asking the questions." And Chris kind of hung his head in shame. I can't remember what it was, but he asked Gavin something.
Yeah,
because Gavin said something. Look, this is supposed to be about everything, not just not just spending time on the edge of extinction.
Right.
So he kind of turned it. I thought it was smart. He turned it back off that and back onto the game. He was making a case that I'm pretty much making, that you should have to come back in the game sooner.
Mm-hmm.
If they do this every time, I think eventually it will hurt. It'll hurt.
And again, looking at next season, they're not going to, at least back to back. And but it is something to say that the two people like Chris and then Devins, if he would have been there, he would have won. We're on edge of extinction at some point, so I think that is just an interesting dynamic. Like if there is the coming back, do you play with more freedom because you're playing with house money at that point, and you're just able to play more freely, or maybe you have more time to kind of refocus your game as opposed to, say Julie or some of those people that if you're on a tribe with Joe, you don't have to go to tribal for the first, up until the merge. Right. Your gameplay doesn't really have to be shown out yet.
Right.
Right.
Well, like another thing with Chris, he didn't have a hand in voting it. He was only. I don't think he did he vote anybody out? He was voted out second, right?
No, third. So it was Reem, then
Keith,
then Chris.
And Keith was already gone, so Reem was the only one he had a hand in voting out.
No.
I think everybody voted out Reem. I don't know if that's necessarily blood on his hands.
That's what I'm saying, but it wasn't like he had, when he'd come back, this is going to be awkward, I voted all these people off.
Right. Well, and that's the other thing. So in full disclosure, Alex woke up in the middle of the end of the episode, so he was kind of out there with us. And when I put him back into bed,
he agreed with me.
He agreed with you after the show was finished. Right before we started recording this, I put him back to bed, and I just glanced at Twitter, and I saw a tweet from Fishback. Before you guys all get on my case, I actually did. This was
he crying?
Food for thought. Here is he said that one of the biggest challenges in the game of Survivor is how do you vote someone out and then convince them to vote for you to win in the end. And really, the only person that Chris had to deal with that with was Reem. He didn't have to.
Who did Reem vote for?
Him.
Okay. So one person.
One person. So he had a track record of 100%.
He should have said that in the final travel.
But see, that's my point. He got voted out early by playing a terrible game. No problem with a second chance, but he's with that jury. And like I said, he's feeding them. He's doing all this different stuff. He seems like a good guy, a fun guy.
He played the game right from his.
I don't think he's playing a game. I think that's just his personality.
He played that version of the game. That's where, to me, like, I understand the purist, and I totally understand that argument. But you also have to say the game is different every single time, and you got to play the game that's in front of you. And he played it.
I get that, but again, the people that voted for him, he didn't play against.
Well, then that's the game's fault. That's not his fault. He played the game to the best of his abilities.
I'm not faulting him once.
But
he came back and
Jack is hating on the theme versus
the theme. Yeah, I don't think it's right.
So, Jack, okay, question.
Unless I was in there and this is a perfect system.
Question. How would you have felt if the producers switched it up a little bit and somebody made it back in at the merge, and then those people that were pre-merge go on the pre-merge vacation and they are off, and then we start a new Edge of Extinction from the merge boot to the final 6 that they made it back in? Final 6?
Final 6.
So,
he made it to 6.
So how would you feel about that if it was a smaller playing field of people that had been merged through 6? So that's still, 7 people?
I think it would be better. But again, I still think there should be less people. Because he was there so long. And like I said, he has pretty mellow personality. So it doesn't look like he's going to rub anybody the wrong way.
Well,
now,
okay.
if Reem got back in, she's not going to get the votes.
Well, I know, but you know what? Reem is the best, and I think that Jeff loved Reem
Queen
so much,
Reem.
And that's why he was giving her like a chance at the end of the because he even pointed out like, dude, like you could tell that he was just as much of a fan of the Queen Reem as we were.
Did she tell him to F off when the chat?
Because
they bleeped it up. Because Reem is in trouble over there. Jeff. I swear she told him to F off.
She's the best.
That was the best part of Extinction because you got a little bit of Reem. I think she would have, she could have stayed in longer, she would have been fun television.
Well, and I think that's why Edge of Extinction, I think that endeared the theme to us a lot more is because Reem was such small dosage, supporting player, great television, She welcomed people there, beginning and end of every episode. She had the final word, and I think that she kind of gave a different little bit of a different flavoring than what we usually see from Survivor, right? Because we usually have to wait for the Ponderosa videos for that, which, by the way, I'm so excited to watch Ponderosa tomorrow.
Looks like they got a deluxe Ponderosa because that resort looked nice.
Well, yeah, because they only paid for like 5 days of it.
Yeah.
So,
Fair enough.
Although, excuse me, it would have been really funny if like Keith and Wendy were there and be like, "Hey, we've been waiting for you all this time." But anyway, I think
when he said, "Stay away from the chicken,"
they were incredibly fortunate. Which, by the way,
well, actually,
shouldn't Sia have given the award to Wendy for freeing the chickens like she did for Ty?
Yeah, but she's a meat eater in real life.
Sia?
No, Wendy.
Isn't Ty a meat eater? I have no idea. I made that up.
Ty was vegetarian.
Anyway, okay, regardless.
I thought. I mean, I could be wrong. Ty didn't get any votes either.
Closing out the point here, I think that they were incredibly fortunate that Reem was the first person to go to Extinction Island, Edge of Extinction, because if they had gotten somebody fairly boring that ended up there, the concept might not have been as fun of a ride as it was until the end when, somebody who made it there pretty early came back in. I think that, yeah.
So I didn't watch the after show. So they're not doing Edge of Extinction type thing on the next one.
No. So spoiler alert.
So it was like a trial balloon for this one to see how the fans react about.
Well,
the winner.
sure, yeah, I would assume so.
I think, like I said, I think they'll bring it back, but I gotta believe, because I haven't watched Twitter.
Blood versus water.
Haven't gotten near Reddit, but I gotta believe that people are going to say, "Hey, that he has to come in the game sooner."
Well,
or
yeah,
he or she, the player has to come back in the game sooner.
I think there was a lot of feelings in my quick glances over somebody who got voted out third coming back in, and somebody who we had zero story for. Because again, even us last week were like, "Which one is that again?"
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Is that Chris or is that Eric? No, he doesn't have the tattoo, so it's got to be Chris, right?
He was the guy who said, "I'm easy on the eyes," right?
I have no idea. That could have been Eric. It could have been Joe. Who knows?
No, in his beginning thing, I think that's who it was.
I literally could not tell you. I thought for sure Aurora had it, and we were going to just have her seamlessly transition back
Aurora
in.
Had it?
Aurora Jur
when she took off, I said, "Good, go, 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 go." See, I'd had no problem with her coming back because she just left.
Mm-hmm. Right, and even if she
but
had
I think
won,
if Aurora had come back, I don't think she would have won the game.
No, they would have probably voted her out right away.
Exactly. So I gotta give Chris credit. There's no reason they should have let him hang around that long, and they did.
Well, you had some players that weren't, like I said, they were so focused on Devins, but they were right though. They had to get Devins out of the game, but with all the idol plays,
right?
And then when he wasn't winning an idol, he was winning the challenges.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lauren, I don't know why she played her idol. Because
to Chris's credit, he convinced her. He got into her head and said, "You have to make a move." So good on him for that.
Here's a move. I'm not giving you my idol.
Right. And I had said, like, even with whatever. Even if if it was close between Gavin and Julie for the final 4 or 5 or whatever it was to go down to fire, if I'm Gavin and I made that promise to Rick, I'm gonna let Julie take it and keep my hands clean. I think. Knowing that Julie will probably pick me over the other two.
Right.
I think that was probably Gavin's best hope. But, I mean, good on Gavin because, he skipped his honeymoon to go play and he just won $100,000. So
yeah.
that ain't bad for paying your wedding off.
Wedding dowry.
He also saved himself because when Chris asked him, what was your dream? What was a dream of a life? Whatever it was, he goes, to play Survivor.
Yeah.
And then, but at the thing is, I said that, but obviously being with my family and my wife, and I said, "Nice save, Gavin. Nice save."
Yeah.
It's a rookie mistake. He's just new.
Give him credit. He had only been married for 38 days.
Yeah,
39 days. 40 days.
It was a nice save by him. I could imagine his wife sitting at home going, "What?"
Yeah. Can we talk about for a second the challenge to get to the final 3 where they were doing those things high up in the air? Because I would have knowed that and refused to do anything beyond.
Tough. That was tough.
Are you talking about where they're climbing over the water?
Yes, that was terrifying to me. I'm afraid of heights.
Yeah, I don't like heights. We just gotta ignore it.
Power to all 4 of them for not falling in the water.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Gavin was going one.
I thought so too. And then everybody
I did like in the challenge for the Edge of Extinction people where War Dog was struggling.
Oh my God, yes, we need to talk about War Dog for a
man.
second. It was hysterical that they went out of the way to show how terrible War Dog still was in that challenge.
Oh my God, so true.
Also, War Dog had for one glorious moment that like Wolverine beard going on.
Yes, the
Yes.
bald Wolverine.
So
no hair on top, but still the mutton chops.
So I had said that on Twitter, and Mike Bloom was like, "It's like Professor X and Wolverine had a baby."
Oh my God.
Well, he realized it was a bad look and shaved it.
I thought it was cool,
I
personally.
thought it was ridiculous, but it was not anything less ridiculous than the whole season ended up being, and the next season's premise looks. The next
Oh my
season's
God.
premise
Can we talk about next season for a second?
so
I
freaking
haven't seen it, but go ahead.
ridiculous? Oh, you haven't seen it?
Oh, what?
Can we spoil you right now?
Yeah, go ahead.
So it's going to be Boston Rob and Sandra as mentors for 20 new players.
They're not playing to win.
Playing,
They're not playing to win.
it's like The Voice meets Survivor.
That's a good analogy.
It's gonna be so
Hey,
ridiculous.
Boss Rob, hey, you got to play with 8 stupid people.
I know. And Sandra's just. I mean, I look forward to every Sandra soundbite.
No one can play Sandra's game. They can't play it.
No,
I
but
don't even know. No one knows what it is. Just, you're mean to everybody, but they still vote for you. I don't know.
It should be
terrible
fun.
at the challenges.
play against Lil and play against Russell.
It's perfect. Like I think Reem would be a good person for that in the future, where you want them there for the good TV, and Sandra's going to bring it.
Jack, please watch the trailers. So you're done
will.
and then text
I'm gonna
us.
watch
'cause
the after show later on.
it's
I
so
did want
ridiculous.
to point out it was CBS trying to do something because when they were doing the voting, but with Lauren they had an over the top shot.
Oh, I saw that. I said something to Jay. I was
I said,
they are
"Come
playing
on."
into that dress.
We're
Because
being a little obvious on this one.
they
guys.
were so... Okay, I said that to you. I was like, ooh,
I
they
missed
just
it.
clearly looked down tried to look down her shirt, but girl knows how to do it. There
I'm
was
sure
nothing
they had
Lauren
there to
was
look down.
stunning.
They've already sold
Victoria
the
was
commercial.
stunning. There was, stunning, beautiful women on that show.
There was some stunning, beautiful women. And men, Chris or Eric, whichever one it was. Which one won again?
Which one's more?
They're both pretty, I guess.
Which
But
one's
War
more?
Dog's suit in the reunion show is pretty dope as
It
well.
was pretty dope. It was better than Jeff's. Whatever he
Yeah,
was
my
wearing.
God.
God.
Yeah, Survivor.
Oh
It
man.
was almost like Jeff was like, look, we're going to have some outrage. It's going to be pretty ridiculous. Reddit and Twitter is not going to be pretty. What can I do to distract? Oh, let me put on this wonderful fancy sweatpants dad sweater.
This is my thought of it.
I robbed Ozzie Nelson.
No, it's not. It's not. It's the quintessential. Hey guys, me and your mom are splitting up. I'm getting my own apartment, and I'm driving a convertible now, and I'm wearing these clothes that are way too young for me.
I don't know. It was his hair. Just the whole.
And this is my new girlfriend who's half my age. Like that's the clothes he was wearing.
Your mom walked by and go, "Damn, he got old," and then just kept walking.
Well, it was a combination of the douche hair and the fake tan that like made him look like a sausage that was only on his face, and they didn't blend it right in his neck. And
It was the midlife crisis
outfit,
look.
yeah, it was. You're right.
It was classic midlife crisis.
But am I right about the when he brings out this, like even when he brought in Devins out, I was like, okay, this isn't working.
It was
for me.
whatever. I liked how the audience gave him a standing ovation. I thought that was cool for Devins.
Yeah, they clapped for him too when he left. Devins.
Yes, the
Well,
jury
he
did.
Jury
played the
did.
best game. He just didn't.
Yeah,
Right.
and that
like
happens.
him winning, even though he had been at Edge of Extinction, him winning we would have been fine with because he had to come back in and play for the second half
But
of the
again, I
game.
also argue that he didn't play your classical Survivor win. Like he played a solo game where they were gunning for him the whole time.
Well, that's
like,
not true.
No, a la Mike or
That is
Ben.
100%.
Absolutely, because nobody
Well,
voted with
Yeah,
him.
but Mike turned a lot of people off when he pissed off Shireen by not doing the. Was it Shireen? Yes, with the auction thing. He pissed off.
Oh, sure,
everybody with
but
that.
I'm just saying that he played that solo game. He didn't play the game where He was.
But he's still.
He was no, because he didn't make a vote happen.
He was on the wrong
happen
side of the
anything.
vote for everything,
Every single time. All
including
he
the winner
did,
vote.
all he did was either win immunity or get an immunity idol towards the end. I mean, and I don't think that's a. I think again, if you get there to the end, you've done what you need to do. But it's not your classical Survivor game where you are influencing votes. You're building alliances. You're not playing the Richard Hatch style of game where you build alliances and you influence votes and you make things happen.
I think it was Lisa on Twitter who said, or maybe I forget who it was. I'm so sorry if I'm misattributing this. It might have been BJ. I'm sorry. I look so quickly. Somebody said that they are down for a season where there are 0 immunity idols, but the players don't know that. So they're still looking for them, but it's useless.
Yeah,
I'd have no problem with that.
I do think there needs to be a bit of a change. I think it's a little idle heavy, and there just needs to swing a bit in the other direction. I think that would be fair.
Yeah.
Again, just stop it. Okay, once you play it, it doesn't come back in the game.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think that's how you stop it because it's I'm going to play my idol. I'm going to go find another one. I'm going to play my idol, find another one. I'm going to play my idol, find another one. It's like, come on.
Right.
At one point, you have to let the players play.
Yeah, and power to Lauren for realizing that there has to be at least one of those 4 that were found or 3 that were found were fake. Like, she wagered it and she guessed wrong, but like, good for her for realizing that there was something.
And Lauren is usually a pretty smart player, so it shocks me she fell into Chris and played her idol.
Well, he
got in her
played
head
it
by
perfectly.
saying
He got
that
in her head by
Kelly
saying
wanted you
Wentworth.
to do that.
He
I
played it
get
perfectly.
that, but I'm just like going, yeah, still though, it's
played
like
it perfectly.
She's a pretty smart player, and she didn't.
But what's her weakness? Wentworth, and he played it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
No, I'm saying
Kelly likes me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like
he played it perfect.
I don't knock Chris's game for the 3 days that he got back into play. I just wish that we would have seen more of who this character was from week 4 through tonight.
No, I think that's fair. I think it's fair. And we're going to get into cyclical arguments at this point. I think we've made our cases. It is for you, the listeners, decide where you stand. You probably have opinions as well. Speaking of those listeners,
I'm on Team Sansa.
We're going to hear from them in a moment.
Sorry, wrong podcast.
But before we do,
in this case, Jack, if you're for Team Sansa, so you want somebody who is content just to like be in their own little habitat.
I thought you were going to have a really good joke there. But
I
it's
did.
Kind of disappointing. Let's go to a quick commercial break.
Then I lost it.
We'll be right back.
Listener feedback.
All right, it's listener feedback time. Hopefully, Colleen, she's going to take another stab at the joke maybe later throughout the episode.
I am.
I believe in you, Colleen.
I hope it works because it was painful.
Okay, it was painful. What I was going to make a joke is how you must want to see like Braun or somebody end up on the Iron Throne if you're okay with Chris being on the Iron Throne. But then I realized it was more geared towards Jay.
Isn't it Bran?
Bran? No, Braun. You know,
It's
the dude
Braun.
with the hookers.
Oh, yeah.
Or Bran. I mean,
I
he
love Braun.
He too would be a wild card. But I'm
Have you
saying
seen-
somebody that was out of the Game of Thrones who just magically
okay.
showed up for the last episode
There you go.
and was like, I want to sit here.
For this one,
and then did get to sit there.
producing this show, a lot of the shows that I prefer, or the old school Jay and Jack style, I produce and edit as it goes along, and I generally sense the vibe from the people I'm podcasting with to kind of let it flow and kind of guide it as it goes. So I see Colleen, I see her mind. I know I've podcasted with her for over a decade.
Well, the podcast,
I know how she
you've
works.
just been married to me for almost
exactly.
a decade.
So I know there's something.
That's like living on Extinction Island.
Well, I can see
Oh.
it because when she's thinking and she's getting somewhere, she has like her face makes this movement. It's like, okay, she's got something coming. I'm gonna give her the floor, and then beep.
You know why? Because I was making the joke at Jack, and then I realized it was better served for you, and then I was like, crap.
Because
how
I
am
was
gonna do
almost going
this?
to give you the charity laugh, but then I go, wait, maybe it's not a joke. So I was stuck in the middle because I can't see your face, so I'm just like going.
Oh man,
you don't know.
I really hope that the ad has happened and people had 30 seconds to forget whatever I said.
It was a long ad, but
Hey Jay, have you been on Twitter today?
no, I have not. I don't really use Twitter.
Yeah, go on Twitter. You'll find it funny.
About what?
let's go on Twitter. One of our patrons has had some fun day with Photoshop.
Oh, okay, all right, very good.
Oh boy.
Photoshop and Game of Thrones.
But anyways, it was really funny. It was a funny moment of podcasting with Colleen.
Hey, we all have those days. Where they go. You think, God, that's gonna be funny. Oh,
it's almost like you had it and you were so excited about it, but then you fumbled it and then got sad that you fumbled it.
I was making the joke at the wrong person, so then I was like, "Crap, how am I gonna?"
I'm sure it was like the writers of Game of Thrones before this last episode. Like, people are gonna love it.
Pull up, people! You're going in too fast. I can't shake them.
Oh, wow. Okay, wow.
All right. So Mandy says,
"Mandy,
finale!" Exclamation point. So Mr. Mandy decided to cut his finger open and get 13 stitches today.
Whoa!
Just to get a sick day so he could watch Survivor with us. Wow. I hope he is okay.
That's dedication.
Yeah,
that is dedication.
Hold on. He should have got some votes.
He should have.
Seriously.
More than Gavin.
Oh, Gavin didn't play a terrible game.
But Julie, no votes? Really? Come on.
I know. Julie should have had some votes.
The Central Park Pier should have got some votes.
Central Park Pier. Okay.
And I would not have said that last week.
Before can we talk about who we'd like to see return?
Reem.
Not right now, but when we're done with this. Jake,
sure.
Producer, remember that.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, dude, remember that.
Dude.
Okay, so not really, but he was forced to watch the show with us. After not seeing a single episode, getting a season recap from a 9-year-old, and only only half watching, he was all in on Chris tonight.
Well, of course, it's a perfect first episode
you
you watched.
didn't need to know.
Exactly.
This guy's great.
This guy's great.
How did he not get all the votes?
It's perfect for that kind of viewer, yeah.
I'm down on this season, so I'll share his thoughts. Chris isn't the dumbest survivor. James is still the dumbest. James.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Two idols.
Yeah. His comments suck, so back to mine. Chris might be the dumbest survivor.
What?
Cue flashbacks to ice cream scooper Eric. Wow. I for sure thought this was Rick's season to win. Damn edit. And just like that, I'm back on this season while my kid cries. The fire making still sucks, but at least we had some drama with giving up immunity. I can't even keep up with the final tribal. I used to be a fan of this format, but with 13 people on the jury, this just isn't working for me. Time to vote for the winner, and I have no idea who is going to win. Is this how casuals feel? It's weird, and I don't really care for it. Jay, is that how casuals feel?
Yeah, and it's more enjoyable, to be honest.
Mr. Mandy, yay! Me and the girls, ugh. Back to the bottom half you go. Back to the bottom half of seasons you go. Edge of Extinction. How did someone who was in the game for 12 days total win? I need to go to bed now. I love that you all came back this season. I love that. Oh, I think she meant to say, I love that y'all came back this season, and I hope that you'll be back again next season.
We will.
Sandra
Queen stays
is
the queen is there.
The
Colleen's
queen,
there.
The queen stays queen. I'm all in. One more thing I asked, did I miss the Chris winner package? My daughter Mackenzie, I don't know. I don't want to see it because he's a loser.
So I guess that's a vote for against Edge of Extinction coming in this late. You know, another thing that bothered me about Chris, it sounded like when he was it sounded like he was reading a cue card.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, he did have.
When he was speaking, it sounded like a stupid
He's a salesman. So.
Yeah, he's a salesman.
But to me, I was like, it sounded like he's just reading his. You know, it's like when the 16 and pregnant, those stupid they have and you can tell they're reading behind when they're.
I have not watched a lot of that show.
Is he reading?
No, I think he's just very.
I think Jay's right. He's just rehearsed because he's a salesman, and that's his how he approaches things. But yeah, okay. So Victoria says.
Victoria.
So this season was whack. I have to say, this season was all over the place. Thank goodness Chris made this finale interesting and took on Rick. I seriously would not have watched the rest of the finale had he not done that. I don't know, the whole idol thing really threw me off this season. I really appreciated and respected Chris for making such a huge play. He really survived that terrible island and came back and played strong. The worst thing about this season was the island because I don't like to revisit vote-offs. It shows how sorry everyone else's gameplay was. A player could come back from being starving and mentally drained and still win immunity over people who are eating and have shelter. See you guys next season. Hopefully there are no random behind islands that nobody cares about. Love you guys. And then she finishes with, I am interested in the next season. Wait, did they just say survival of the idols? Ugh. So yeah, Jack, we also forgot to mention that it's, survival of the idols.
Island of the idols.
It's Island of the Idols.
Island of Idols.
You sure they're not talking about Sandra and...
I think that's what they're talking about.
That's what they're talking about.
It's not about actual idols,
it's about,
I assume. The idols of the game.
Like I said, it's like The Voice or American Idol.
Well, they have these big, statues made up of the face of Sandra and
Oh, my God. And I have to say, they are campy. It's like they should have gone to the Met Gala because they are the definition of campy for Survivor. And I guess I'm here for it because, sure, YOLO.
That's your life.
You heard what the rumors were for 40?
No, I hadn't, but don't say it on air in case there's somebody listening that doesn't want to be spoiled. But tell me as soon as we stop recording.
I just saw it on. I don't know if it's true or not, but I saw it on something.
Well, let's leave it. Leave it out of the show, please.
Is it Reem versus Reem versus Reem? Because I'm also okay with that.
Reem in a room full of mirrors.
Yeah.
I love her. Stop it.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you, Victoria. Any other feedback?
Yeah.
That is all we've got. I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't get anything from JP.
Well, it's a late night on the East Coast for when we record.
Call?
So let's go to the final tally of the tally game.
I don't think I got a point today.
Well, let's. Who was first voted out? Victoria. We all had final 3. So we don't get any points for Victoria.
Oh, this is terrible. Why don't we just give Jack and call it a day?
No, it's nobody. His winner pick didn't win, so it's still within range here.
But he still won. Let's be honest.
Who was next voted out here? So Devins, right?
No, Lauren.
No, Lauren.
Oh, you're right, Lauren. Let's see where Lauren is. Lauren. Jack, final 3, no points. Colleen, pre-merge, no points. But I said merge. I get a point. Don't call it a comeback. All right, and then after Lauren, it was Devins?
Yes.
We all said merge, but he was voted out, so technically none of those points count, right? Wasn't that our rule?
Yes,
it's your rule. You tell me.
No, it's you guys told me.
It doesn't matter. It's a wash.
Okay. Yeah, because we all got him. And then...
Whoa, breaking news, everyone. Sia has announced on Twitter to Joey Amazing, if you cut your hair off and donate it to a children's cancer wig making charity, I will give you $15,000.
Damn.
And he has accepted.
Awesome. That's great.
How could he not?
Julie...
He's getting married. The dude's got to pay for that somehow.
Julie...
That's only like a tenth of it.
Central Park Pier, we said all pre-merge, so no points for Julie.
Julie.
And then Gavin is in second. So the last chance to get points here since Chris was voted out. Where is Gavin?
What about our order we did last week?
We'll get to that. This is the preseason picks.
All right. Okay.
Everybody said, Colleen and Jack said merge, so no points. And I said pre-merge, so no points since he was final 3. Chris, if you just want to read it, doesn't matter because it doesn't count. I said merge. Jack, you said pre-merge. Colleen, you said merge. So Jack did. Oh, one of my turtles took a dive.
Toys are flying off the shelves.
I thought it was one of your turtles outside. How do you know that?
Putting her legs against the thing.
I'm literally not doing anything.
You are. All right. So out of that, only I got points. So sorry, guys. All right. Let's see. For our final picks, we'll start with you, Colleen. See how you did. You said Lauren out at 6, so no points there. You said Gavin out at 5, no points. Julie at 4, no points. Aurora at 3, no points. 2, Victoria, no points. Devins, no points. I said Gavin at 5 or 6, nope. Victoria at 5, nope. Devins at 4, so I get a point there. And then Chris at 3, no point. Julie at 2, no point. Lauren to win the game, got no points. Jack, you said Gavin, no point. Victoria, no point. Lauren, no point. Julie at number 3, you get a point there. Aurora, number 2, no points. Devins, no points. And then for our picks to come back, we all said Aurora, so no points.
She was close.
She was close. The 3 points puts me at a still pretty pathetic 7. Colleen, you got no points in this final game.
I know. That's why I'm
sad.
looking at the Survivor CBS Instagram, because I know that.
Hashtag sad. And that means Jack, for the first time on Survivor with Jay, Jack, and Colleen, is the tally champion. Congratulations,
that's
Jack.
my retirement from the game.
Oh, man. My picks were so bad this year. I had Aubrey as my pick to win it
I
after
know,
losing.
twice.
And Aubrey, didn't Aubrey have an advantage where she could learn how to do the rope thing?
Yeah, wasn't that a thing?
Yeah, that was a thing, and she was all caught up in the ropes.
Yeah, she was awful. Aubrey, I still love you. I still do.
She's not the player she was the first season.
All gone.
She got worse.
He cut it like after the show?
He did. He just cut it backstage with Jeff's hair cutter.
Dang.
Yeah.
It's that is on the Instagrams.
It's on the Instagrams.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good on him.
He looks way better. I'm sure Sierra does.
What's he look like bald?
No, he just cut it short, that's all.
He just cut it all off.
Looks good though. Looks handsome.
I mean,
I'd do
him. Dude.
I'd still do him.
Yeah, you know.
Nobody can win a game like, with me.
Oh man. All right. That'll do it. It was a crazy season, but it was still a fun season. Colleen and Jack, thank you for being great.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.
Again, thank you to our patrons. If you'd like to give us a call, give us a call at 385-309-0311. Also send an email to survivorjjc@gmail.com. We will be enjoying our off season, but we will be back in the fall for Survivor Island of Idols with Boston Rob.
I guess I have to defend my title.
Sandra. Jack, yes, you have to come back to defend your idol.
Is there some kind of crown I get? Do I get a crown?
We can make a crown. Yeah, might as well.
That I wear every episode?
Or a trophy or something.
Use the tiara from the meetup. It's still here.
Yeah.
Okay. That
works. All right. That'll do it. Anything else? Final thoughts?
No.
Well, there you go. We'll see you guys next time. Hasta luego and goodbye.
Peace out, everybody.
Bye.